cousin always believed I was his soulmate. When I told his aunt what was going on, I was disowned. Since a young age, Ethan always seemed to have a fascination with me. I always found it creepy, even when I first met him at the age of 5 and he was 12. For the whole time he had been there, I stuck by my mom. As I grew older, I was forced to hang out with him more. The touches that seemed innocent had me flinching away. It wasn't until he invented the game of doctor that I absolutely feared him. I started fearing all men and flinching if they even raised their hand wrong. But I loved my Aunt Becca, so I forced myself to keep returning. It got easier when he moved into the dorms at college. With Ethan away and us visiting Aunt Becca while never seeing each other helped ease my panic attacks. No one in the family ever realized what had happened, as Ethan had groomed me. It wasn't until he left that my personality started to shine through. I became more outgoing and enjoyed trying new things. Aunt Becca loved hearing my stories of adventure. The scariest part wasn't falling back to earth. It was the fact that you didn't fear what was happening. That's what caused the fear, because you couldn't change it. I explained to her about going skydiving. Clapping happened behind me as I flinched. It was the same sarcastic clapping I had nightmares about with "naughty girl. Sounds like you've been living your life to the fullest," Ethan states as he fully enters the room. Aunt Becca squeals in delight as she stands and throws her arms around him. "Ethan, I wasn't expecting you till next week," she exclaimed. Ethan looked over my body over Aunt Becca's shoulder as he responded, "Thought I would surprise you. Glad I did." The slimy smirk he tossed my way had goosebumps spread all over my body. I felt like I was going to be sick. "Isn't this great, Amelia?" I forced a tight smile onto my face. "I'm glad for you, Aunt Becca." Ethan's eyes darkened at my jab against him. The blank look that overcame his face had me stuttering out an excuse why I needed to leave. My breathing was erratic as I drove back home. My hands were shaking as my body trembled. Sweat poured all over my body, and my heart I could hear in my ears. I realized during my panic that the only way I had a chance to get past this was to tell someone, anyone. My mind thought of my mother, but she was too mousy in the quiet way that she would never speak out. My father was out of the picture with him either disowning me for being a shameful bird. That only left Aunt Becca. Would she believe me over her own son? I didn't know, but this was tearing me up alive. Ethan went back to his dorm 2 weeks later, and that's when I went to visit. Aunt Becca greeted me warmly. "You missed spending time with Ethan," she commented lightly. "Aunt Becca," she turns to look at me, "I need to talk with you." We both sit down as I explain what Ethan did. The grooming to pleasure him, the inappropriate touches, the violence, and the code of the game doctor. Every detail I could recall. Aunt Becca listened to me without saying a word. When I finished with tears and snot ruining my face, I took a good look at Aunt Becca. Her face was made of stone. Her eyes were glaring at me that would have put me 6 feet under a couple times over. I had told the truth, I thought, with wide eyes. "Get out of my house, you tramp." "What?" I couldn't have heard her right. "Get out. I treated you like family. And you create these lies about my perfect and intelligent boy." I ran out of the house, not looking back. In my car, I called a hotline in my panic. I didn't want to be alive at this point. I couldn't breathe either. I pull out of my aunt's driveway, barely able to see it all with the tears. If I had looked in my rearview mirror, I would have seen Ethan hugging Aunt Becca with an evil grin. That day, my parents disowned me and threw all my belongings onto the yard, breaking my fragile items. 2 weeks later, 4 females came forward on campus against Ethan. My phone had been blown up with calls from my family members until I changed my phone number. I didn't need them or their toxicity in my life.